Woo.
All right. First off, I'm going to say hello to every single person out there tuning in tonight. Of course, it's your man, Mr. Johnson, with Unfiltered with Mr. Johnson, representing the whole and the best damn social media host in the business. My boy Mac Reeves, Jordan, Asian Boy, and Miss Cola. Got a couple of advertisers letting y'all know that we after the almost nearly three, almost I want to say 4 months by the time we get back to doing it. That we're gonna be back live in the studio, looking sometime in July. So that'll be good to have all the guys, and the ladies back, so we can have that energy back to where we normally used to having. Just great. Miss being with them. But we've been happy that y'all, to still the fan, the views and the fan involvement, y'all still there. And we're going to keep bringing y'all great topics, great shows. Tonight I got two great individuals with me tonight. So I'm gonna let them do they introduce themselves before we even get any further. But just want to let y'all know that also we'll have more information about an exact date when we're going to have my live broadcast in the studio for you in July. Just know that it is going to be in July. Just want to kind of let a couple other things die out first before we go any further. But first of all, two of these guys, both of them veterans. So salute to both of you individuals for serving our country. Thank you so much. Appreciate your service. People don't realize that it damn show ain't easy going out there and risking your lives for people that you ain't never seen before. And on behalf of everybody else in here, is the son of a Marine Corps veteran. Both of these two guys service in the Navy. I think Justin, you was on the submarine too, wasn't you?
Yeah. That's a whole. That's like a whole different thing. You can't even really, really put that in as like being part of the Navy. It's like a whole different thing.
Oh man! So like I said, I appreciate both of them, man, being on here tonight. I got one is my brother, man. We've known each other almost now. Shoot, man, we might be telling our age in a minute, bro. 25. Woo! Yeah. My goodness, man! Wow. Yeah, man. They're like, I'm old. He right there behind me, right?
right behind.
Right. Yeah, right. Keyword behind, right? But yeah, this is my boy, my brother. I can never fix my mouth to say nothing different about him. He's definitely my brother, Alonzo Canty. And then I got my guy, it off from the back. Since we worked together. We worked together for about 3 years?
Yeah, about three and a half. Yeah.
3.5 years, man. Guy, like I said, both of them Navy, and appreciate them. But then I got my boy here down, Justin. I was just with Justin Nelson, and I appreciate him because I kind of got in touch with him, and he was like, boom, boom, bam. All right, let's do it. Send me the link. So I like that, man. That's military style. When people don't waste time answering questions, that's military. Like, yay and nay. Like, yay. So I'm glad y'all both y'all both doing, like I said, hope y'all both doing well. And we ain't gonna take up a lot of y'all time, but again, if you out there right now, go ahead and share this link, share, post, feel free to comment. And man, we just go get right into it. Kind of want to go. I'm a little bit off some topics. I want to jump to one right quick. And it's weird because I heard. This is not the first time I've heard this before. When it comes to some people, and it's in regards to working now. Especially when it comes to working a 9 to 5. So I just want to get y'all opinions on it. kind of touch base on it, and it's basically working a 9 to 5. Is it still a way to make a respectable living? And to where that came from, let me just give y'all some feedback to where that came from. There's been a couple of women on a couple of different platforms. There's been a couple of different shows where women have said that they cannot date a man who works a 9 to 5. That they feel that that's beneath them, and that he needs to have some type of different goal and aspiration and mindset and things of that nature. And like I said, I'm gonna let y'all go more and more into it, but I just want to kind of give y'all the feedback. Of course, they had much backlash, not just from men, but from other women that said that it sounded real stupid. And it's went across all brands. See, I like kind of topics like this because it went across everything. It didn't just stay with one race, one ethnic group, it went across everyone. Everybody like, okay. A lot of women's like, what's the problem with a man that's working a 9 to 5? So I don't know which one of y'all want to go first, but hey, 9 to 5, is it still a way to make a respectable living? What's going on with it? Did these women sound a little crazy? What's up?
Okay, so working a 9 to 5, how the economy is set up right now, I can understand where they're coming from in a way. But I mean, if both of y'all in it to win it, you know what I'm saying? Then you're not really like talking about a 9 to 5. So if y'all like a couple, then it's both of y'all funds to join together. Because I know, as far as like, because if you say for instance, like you work a 9 to 5, making probably around like 15 $16 an hour, and you really not bringing that much home. So I can understand exactly where they coming from. So you got rent, you also got utility bills and things of that nature. You also have, if you got any kids, you got child care, all that type of stuff. So with all those things combined, you probably won't have too much extra with just a 9 to 5. So I can understand without working like overtime like crazy.
Yeah, for me, I think it depends on where they're coming from. If it's monetary, then that's it can either be a monetary thing or a time thing. If it's time, and you're saying that, hey, that's too many hours, you got to find a quicker, more profitable hustle, and to spend more time with your family. They don't understand that being a small business owner or climbing the ranks in your job, it takes more time than people realize to when you do get up into management or in these higher positions, or you're trying to pursue your own small business. I mean, Randy, you know firsthand that when you're trying to get above and beyond a 9 to 5, you're basically working all the time. But if it's monetary, it really just depends on what kind of 9 to 5 it is. If you're in like a good union or a good trade, and you're just like being an electrician or a carpenter or a roofer or something, and you're making decent, it's hard work, but you're making good money, then I think it's perfectly fine. I mean, that's what I do now. I work in construction. I make enough to afford my house and my car and everything, and buy stuff for my kids and go out of town occasionally. But it's not balling or anything, but you can make enough to live comfortable. But it all depends. Now, at some point, if you do want to, kind of get above and beyond that, it's going to take a lot of time and effort, and it's always risky. 9 to 5 is kind of reliable, even though you're stuck, but you know how much money you're going to bring in, that your bills are going to get paid. So, I mean, it kind of depends on where they're coming from and why. But if you're not making enough, and you want more, you talk about wanting more, and you're not trying to move up or get a better job or something, then that's a whole different problem, I think.
I agree with you on that. I agree with both y'all points, but it kind of was going I think it started off with Zoe saying about, the economy.
Mm-hmm.
And also you just said, Justin, when you just basically put it out there that it's just basically what I tell most people is that with this comment, I really don't know where their mindset is. I think that a lot of that is how their lifestyle is set up.
Right.
And if your lifestyle is set up where you want to be able to afford all, every materialistic things that you want, then of course, you got to do something to make a little bit more money. But at the same time, I just feel like myself, like I said, I work 9 to 5. I work my own with all the sides and everything of that nature. The one thing I don't want to lose track of is my family.
Right.
I don't never want to get so caught up at work where I miss out on the reason why I'm trying to make the money in the first place. And that's to make sure that my family have everything they need and then some. So I definitely agree. Like I said, I agree with you, Justin. I think that with her, or maybe a lot of it is, I don't think it's bad what they said. I think it comes to why they saying it. And I think that's probably better. And I got a comment right now on here from someone. I'm going to put it on here. It's from, let me see, Kathy Leto. It says, a man who works the 9 to 5 is a man who demonstrates a responsible ability to show up when they are needed and be consistent. But on the other hand, if they are needed at home for whatever reason, if they have the creativity to find alternative style of income, then that would be admirable as well. And and I think that's what basically I think is kind of being said right there. It's just like, I don't think we should base it on that. I think what a lot of guys got offended, or people, when they were coming for the young woman that was saying it, or a couple of young women that were saying it, is the question that should have been asked. I think a lot of times when people get into arguments about things, it just comes right to the heat of the moment, but nobody asks the right questions. Like, why do you feel that a man that works a 9 to 5, you couldn't be able to mess with him? That's the part I'm getting right off the bat. It's like, why you couldn't be with a guy that works a 9 to 5?
If people just automatically assume that it's because they think you're not making enough money, that could be it, right? Like, they could say that nobody that works a 9 to 5 could ever make enough money to make me happy, right? So that could be a thing, but that's just an assumption that you're making. They could mean that they want to spend more time, with you and with your family, or it could mean any number of things.
I think, like I said, and I think, like I said, Kathy, I think you kind of put it in perspective. Thank you for commenting too, Kathy. It's just, I don't think one is better than the other. I think both of them is a matter of responsibility and maturity. Because you could be someone be entrepreneurial and still be in debt up to your eyeballs.
Oh yeah, and it's risky.
Still live paycheck to paycheck. And like you just said, it's risky. And it's far be it for me to tell anybody not to take the risk. It's just understand, even with a woman that's at 9 to 5, understand that it's even when you're your own boss, it's more hours you got to put in. I mean, you're not escaping the hours of working or not. So I don't know if you got something to say on that, but you're not going to escape him working. I mean, like you said, you got a 9 to 5. I'm like, so you got engineers that are 9 to 5s. So that's why I'm thinking like, does that make him, you can work with an engineer and like things of that nature, or whatever it may be. It's a lot of men out here making good money.
I work with a lot of people that make, clear 6 figures easy working 9 to 5. When you're an engineer, or you're a project manager, or you're a supervisor that manages these people, or even when you're like a master electrician or a master mechanic or a master pipe fitter or something in a construction site, you're making 6 figures easy. You know, like
make it easy.
Like, well, you know, I mean, what we're familiar with, if you're doing outside construction and you're you know, there's when you reach top craft, that's just that people, they don't flaunt it, right? But that they're clearing that much money to buy and live the lifestyle they want.
Yep.
I think
that's why I say Justin is like
about 9 to 5.
I'm sorry, so go ahead, man.
I think when some people talk about 9 to 5, some people like get it confused as like minimum wage type of thing.
Right.
And I think that's where that whole mindset is, probably the maturity of the person that said, I don't want no 9 to 5 type of person. Because you're right. You got people that, I mean,
yeah,
like you can work a 9 to 5. My 9 to 5 is not the same as your 9 to 5. So if you think of it like that, it could be the maturity of that person or the group of females that said it. And they probably, if they think in that way, then of course, like how can you survive off that? Like,
right.
Because I mean, you got a master electrician, and they making like $35
right here.
They making like good money.
It's not fun for working for you. Yeah. All the trades are. You know, if you're good at your your trade.
And we looking at a guy. Yep. And we looking at a guy right here. This is my boy Tar, T man, and you know, he electrician. Me and him talk about it all the time because we both work. Like I said, we both work quote unquote 9 to 5s, but most of our income come from working on our own. We work on our own, and you know, it's just people don't understand. I mean, you got to go out and put in your work. It don't disappear. You know, like you said, Justin, it's like I don't understand where some of the mindset of some of the people coming from talking about this 9 to 5 question. You got to put in work. I don't understand. I think some people think they're going to escape time. And if you putting in time to do anything, it's going to take some. It's a sacrifice. So I just don't understand it. You know, like I said, I love when I hear people, you know, I've never been a person to count nobody else's pockets. I don't like nobody counting mine. And it's just like what you said. It's some guys people see walking around every time in skilled trades, and no matter what it is, skilled trades, wherever they do, and they making bank. But like you said, they're not talking about it. They just work. They go home and everything else of that nature. So, I mean, I know a lot of guys that, you know, make that kind of money, and I mean, they paying it out a lot for wherever child support or divorce or alimony.
There's people of all incomes that are doing that.
And Kathy, I'm gonna put up this one. Kathy just put up, and this the bottom line to me. You know, Quan, what's going on? There we go. Quan, miss you. It says Quan say it's the maturity of the person and the money management. Bingo. And that's the big one I was going to put.
Yeah.
You can have someone working minimum wage, living better than someone making 6 figures. And Quan, I'm glad you put that out there because I just don't understand, because I seen it firsthand. I seen guys that's working them that be working, and all of a sudden it's like, I'm like, bro, there's no reason for you to be in debt. You know, because I don't know, like I said, again, I'm not counting nobody's bills. So I just think that it is just about the person, the maturity level, because you seen guys, I don't want to say names in particular, but I know a guy that he works for waste management. You know what I'm saying? And he ended up retiring, but he was a garbage man. And a woman at one time went out, didn't want to talk to him, talking about that she was in his tax bracket. She you know, that he wasn't in her tax bracket. She was a dummy anyway. Making great money. The guy got over 10 rental properties. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like you only went by one aspect and look where you at now. So it's just crazy. I don't understand it. This is the comment I wanted to get to with Kathy. If you are working and getting the bills paid, it shouldn't make any difference. Bingo.
Yeah, if you got you and your family or your household set up in a way to where, you know, you're comfortable, you're happy, everybody's happy, this is the bills that you got, and you can pay them and kind of just live your life, then you could easily be just as happy or happier than somebody with a lot of money that keeps creating problems for themselves. It all depends on what you're comfortable with, what your aspirations are. Are you taken care of? Is your family taken care of? And you can, I've seen people do it on minimum wage or, just any income. They come home and they're happy every day and they hang out, they spend time with their family, no drama. It all depends.
Yeah. So, in total, like I said, I haven't heard many women say that in the circles that I'm around. So that I don't know. In particular, I think a lot of these are just kind of different type of individuals that might have been, like you said, it's just a different mindset. You don't know. That'd be my question to them. It's like, why would you not think that you can make it with someone that's working in 9 to 5? Because I thought the main goal was kind of sort of what Zoe said, is that y'all get together and y'all make everything work out and y'all do everything y'all have to do. That's what's called a relationship. Because if I'm taking care of you to a certain aspect, doesn't that mean I'm your father? To a certain aspect, depending on what it is. But I don't want to hit too much because we believe in taking care of you. Ideally, most men would love for their woman not to work. Being married before my wife didn't work, I gave her the opportunity. I said, hey, if you don't want to work, that's fine. I could take care of it. In this day and age, sometimes some women don't like being at home. I've met a lot of them. They don't want to be at home, so they just want to work because they want to. Some of them work because they got to. So I think it just all depends. I think it's all about money management, just like Kathy said. Okay, hold on. We got one more guy coming in right now. We got one of the hosts, Mac.
Yep, what's going on?
He's coming in right now. There we
go.
go.
What up, Joe, everybody?
Yo.
What's going on? Sorry, late to the party.
So Mac, you be respect. We got 2 Navy guys on this bad boy. So be very respectful. we got Master Lieutenant. Okay, we got Dive Sergeant Dustin. Okay, he been on the nuclear sub. Don't play games with him. You know how to.
Nuclear.
Fuck with him. But before we get over to the next topic, Mac, we were just talking about working a 9 to 5. I don't know if you got a chance to listen to it before you got on. Where's your view on that? The question on the topic was, do you think working a 9 to 5 is still respectable living based upon a lot of these? I don't know if you've seen the comments with a couple of women saying they couldn't get a guy that worked a 9 to 5 because they felt like they wouldn't be able to work with that. They need to be an entrepreneur. And I sometimes I think a lot of them girls don't realize that more businesses fail. Matter of fact, over 70% of businesses fail more than they succeed. But we ain't gonna get all into that. But how do you feel about that?
Yeah, honestly, like I said, everybody, ties to their own opinion, but at the same time, I've seen families that survive and done well at work 9 to 5s or whatever. Some people, I think, like some women like that, they want a guy that has fast money, or they feel like they may not have they may not feel like that person have enough time available for them. Mm-hmm. Or when you hear 9 to 5, they think a McDonald's worker and grocery store worker, somebody who they think they can't provide for them how they want. So, like I said, that's up to them. Because like you said, 75% of businesses, don't succeed. The first 90 are in debt, within their first 5 years. So, hey, it's all about putting in the work. If I have to work a 9 to 5 or however, you need a 9 to 5 to, invest in your own business if you want to do it. So, either way, I think everybody at some point has to work a 9 to 5 or, have worked a 9 to 5 before.
No. Hey, Justin, I can bring this up too. And I don't know what y'all think about this, but I think a lot of this with this kind of newer and younger crowd that's coming in. I don't like to say because we are pretty now. Everybody on here, we are a part of what quote unquote millennial group, you know. But all millennials ain't created equal. You know, a lot of them got. I'm just being honest. They got different mindsets.
That sounds like a shirt.
Like I can't be at home and just sitting here watching Netflix all day. That's a millennial thing.
Yep. Like I think that it's crazy because I've seen some of them where, like I said, it really just depends for the most part what side of the spectrum they on. You either some of them say they understand hard work. I think everything really depends on your upbringing. I think that when you have an upbringing or wherever, or your determination in your fight that you have with it. So I think most people they understand. Like I'll give you an example. Most people when they go to school, they come out and they try to get in their field. If they can't get in their field, they go whatever the next equivalent job they can get that's at least making money that's gonna keep you above water. That's what you try to do.
Yeah.
You got a lot of millennials now that if they're not working in their field, they simply not working. And I'm like, I mean, what do you expect to happen in the meantime? But
I
don't like the stigma they put around that. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Justin.
I was gonna say the other thing is like you're saying, if they're not working in their field, they're not working. Or on the flip side, they are working, but they almost intentionally choose like a dead end job, and then complain about it being a dead end job, right? So they, you know, if they go work somewhere where they're basically making minimum wage and then complain about it, instead of trying to find a more lucrative field. And then just blame it on you know, college or that job or whatever it is, right? I think that is pretty common as well.
Yeah, I know a lot of guys like that too, like going to tech. A lot of them are engineers and have science background. They have a lot of potential, but you know, like I said, if they don't succeed or feel like they want to be in that field, they essentially just quit. You know what I mean? So I definitely see a lot of that going around the millennials.
Yeah, I think it's hard when you kind of work that long for that hard to kind of get your education, get your resume built up, get this background and all this and that, and then you come to find out that it's too hard to break into your field, or there's not that many opportunities, or you got your first job in the field, you just didn't like it, and then you know it kind of breaks people where they put so much time and effort into something that they don't feel like it's going to pan out, and you know, like you said, they just give up, and it's kind of, you know, you hear about people making like these midlife transitions or mid-career transitions into something else, but you know, you hear the stories because they're rare, right? If it was common, you know, you wouldn't hear about it. So you know, a lot of people just they feel like they're stuck.
So now I'm gonna say like with my own experience, like I got my degree in project management and everything like that. So being in Michigan, you get contract jobs. And when I started my career path, I was in a whole nother like state and didn't plan on coming to Michigan, but I was like too far along to be like, hey, well, I'm just going to change direction in my career path, and then end up staying here. And it was like nothing came up of it because it's like a contract job, and then they want you with experience. So it was like it all depends on what demographic you in and everything like that, as far as what how you're going to succeed in your career path that you chose to go to school for.
Yeah, project management specifically, depending on, you know, what you're doing, because I work in construction. I work directly with a lot of project managers, but a lot of that is luck in the economy and the construction economy. You know, the what's going on in the industry at the time, because you might get your degree and try to get in the field in a time where there's like no work going on, and they're scaling back, they're dialing back construction, production, they're not renovating, they're not doing all this. But then, say 3-4 years ago in Detroit, business is booming everywhere. And, if you're just coming out the gate, then they're hiring people with no experience and barely any education. As long as you're willing to show up, you might get a job. So some of it's luck.
Yeah, it's like you said. I think there's so many factors. I would just tell like a lot of those young ladies that young guys too, because you got some guys now that are very feminine that sit at home and they can't deal with a woman that work a 9 to 5. But
For real.
but I would just say, man, stop counting people's pockets. I'm a firm believer that when you talk about coming to in a relationship, and it's gonna bring us right into the next topic I want to talk about. When you come to a relationship, be careful of the people that the only thing they bring to the table is a bag. Be careful of that. Because all they are some takers. So I would most people that if she's so concerned about everything else that got nothing to do with your integrity, your character, with your drive, it doesn't make any sense. That means that she's looking for a sponsor. She ain't looking for a husband. Tell her to go to Make-A-Wish Foundation. That's the best way to say it.
Dang. She's looking for a sponsor.
But this one is really good. And I want to, this one is really good. I got this from, I'm talking to one of our co-hosts, Jordan, and he put a good thought process. He said, normally he would not ever brought this up, but now he feels that don't get into a relationship until you have reached your purpose or you got your goals taken care of. So in this next topic I got for all y'all, I don't know which one of y'all want to go first, but it's goals first, relationship distance second. Is being in a relationship losing importance right now when it comes compared to achieving your goals and things of that nature? Now, I got my own little thing on that, but I'm gonna let anybody else go. I don't know which one of y'all want to go first.
I kind of agree with Jordan on that one, because like, say for instance, like you in a relationship, how can you be focused because your main thing is going to be on the relationship? So you being focused on the relationship, you will never reach your potential to know exactly what at least you got to have a knowledge or an inkling, or you done heard from your higher power to know where you going, what direction you're going to go into. So at least you know that, and then you can work towards that while you're in a relationship. But if you jump in a relationship first, you can kind of like lose focus in your whole purpose. Like kids can come along, like 5 kids, you know. You 10 years later, you try to find your kids' purpose now. You know what I'm saying? Like, but dang, like, what you want to do in life? Nah, I do agree. Like, find your purpose first, get in a relationship, and then therefore y'all can work on each other, trying to reach your career path or whatever y'all want to do in life. But other than that, yeah, you'll be lost, man. I think.
I agree.
First of all, before y'all next question answer, first before you get into it, Mac, I want everyone who's watching this to understand that it's 4 guys on here. 3 of them are married. Okay, 3 of them are married. All right. All of us have been married before. And like I said, 3 of them are married. So I coming from that aspect, I'm gonna, after Mac and Justin give their opinion on it, I'm gonna come back with something else. Mac, go ahead.
All right. So the main thing is about being happy. Of course, your spouse can help make you happy if you choose the person that you want to be with correctly. But like I said, I agree with Alonzo and I agree with Jordan, because if you have something that you're passionate about or something that drives you, to be sane or to fulfill your purpose in life, you know what I mean? And then after you get married, your wife can understand or your spouse can understand that passion that you have in doing whatever or fulfilling whatever. But now let's just say that, okay, you have this passion for something and you haven't 100% completed or chased it how you wanted to. And now when you're married and have children, your obligation is to them. Your passion comes second after that. Your purpose comes second after that. Like I said, depending on what your purpose is. And let's just say if your wife or children not making you happy, you overall miserable because you go to work to do what you want, you're not happy because you don't want to do it. And you come home if you're not happy, with what you have at home, and you're not happy with that. So at the end of the day, I mean, that's why I agree with that, because you got to find out what your purpose in life to make sure you fulfill, because, once you go home, you got to put that to the side.
Mm.
I'm good. You good, Justin? It's on you.
No, I agree mostly with both of you. What you're getting at is that if you're not satisfied with where you're at in your career and your life, and you don't feel like you've accomplished things, that you might, and then you blame it on settling and compromising. You might resent your choices. You might resent your wife or your family. You might carry that resentment your whole life, because now you don't have that opportunity to kind of achieve as much as you had planned for yourself. I think it's doable if you kind of meet at a point where there's a mutual understanding that you both have to achieve your goals and support each other, and you can get that discipline and focus. But I think that's really difficult to do. So it's probably easier and more reliable to kind of get yourself together, get down your career path, focus on yourself first, get, to a point where you're happy with yourself, and then kind of, open yourself up to that. But, then a lot of times you don't really have a choice. Like if you meet somebody and you want to spend time with them, but, it's definitely harder to do it that way, I think.
All right, so I'm reading Quan's question, and essentially it's saying, like, whatever you meet at a younger age, like if both y'all coming out of college, working on your goals and everything like that. And I say, like, with that, people change, especially like, going into college, coming out of college, going into adulthood, marriage and everything. So I feel like people change. So like, let's say, all right, we're in college, we're still trying to find ourselves. So like I said, but once you're in a marriage, it's something totally different. So you don't know, like, Absolutely. Let's say we start dating in college, we go out of college, we got two different careers that's, pushing us totally two different ways. Mm-hmm. Who knows that it's going to work out later on in a marriage or, in a long-term relationship. So that's why I think it's better to say, hey, this is what I like, this is what I want to do, this is what you want to do. Is it going to work out for the long run?
But what's the problem with that is that when majority of people when you're young, they're thinking about the long run.
No.
and that's the issue. We go, now, do everybody fit into that mode? No. We all know this. Do we have people that are married, get married young, and have marriages where they stay together for a long time? They go through the roughs, the times, and they love each other, and they get stronger all the time? Absolutely. Seen it happen and everything. But majority of the time, especially I think with this microwave society, I think that you need to take your time in your 20s. I think you need to understand your 20s is the time for you to figure out where you want to do, what you're trying to do, where you want to be, where you belong. And I think sometimes it carries right over into about the 30s. I think that when you get about to like 33, 35, it should be where you're like, okay, I'm settling into what I'm going to do. But like Justin brought up one time, it's a rarity that you have somebody making that midlife transition to something else. But for the most part, like you said, I think the biggest thing I took out of all what y'all said is that man, you better find happiness on your own before you try to go find happiness with somebody else. Because it just gonna happen. It ain't nobody else's job to make you happy. That's why I done learned in life. There's nobody else's job to make Randy happy. It's not that woman's job to make me happy. I better have happiness before I get with her, so that way it could be compounded, and I can put up with some of the mess she dish out and some mess that I dish out. I mean, this is being real, because that's what being married is. When you talk about relationships, some people just got relationships, like we said, like I was saying before, because they just want sponsors. Some people just in relationships because they freaking lonely. You don't want to, it's like it's just passing time for you. But I think when you happy with everything that you're doing, it shows. It ain't saying that y'all ain't gonna have problems when you get in a relationship, but that, which is a major problem, if you feel like you're not doing anything with your life, it's like what Justice, I think it was like what Justin Anzo said. You can start to hate the person you with. Like, man, like I did this for you. I tried to be a better man. I gave up my dreams, my opportunities. I could have been a professional football player. My knee got hurt. I gave up and started recycling bottles. We don't
need your life story, Randy.
Like, I told you I could have did more. But hey, I've heard it. Like, I don't know if I've heard guys just really get mad. I hear more women say that. Like,
true.
I could have been this, I could have been that. My kid, look what you did to me. I lost my youth. Like, nobody told you to spread eagle. It's a choice. If you felt that strongly about some of your choices, man, I mean, if you felt that way, I can't blame the kid for the kid being here.
You say experience that more with women, as far as blaming guys for
I think
I don't see that, and I say that because, like,
I think they blame life. I think they blame life. Women blame life a lot more when they're not where they at. So I've seen women where
that's true.
They get upset.
I agree with that.
Yeah, and they take out all that hell on everybody else. You be like, whoa, hey, I wasn't with you. Like, I can't believe I dated this guy, or I had this situation, or that. Now, don't get me wrong. It's a lot of guys. I think guys more the pity roll on some aspects when it comes to the things they couldn't or didn't do. But I think for the most part, like I agree with everything that y'all said. I think that you need to discover yourself. I think a lot of people just discover the bedroom. They don't discover themselves. They discover the bedroom with each other. That's about it.
Now, I will say this: like, you have something in a relationship where it's not fruitful for y'all. Oh, a woman tends to give more of herself than a man do. And I will be honest, that's totally honest. So that I can't agree where Randy coming from, because, like, if you're in a relationship that's not like producing anything, or y'all not even like moving forward, or it's like a lot of animosity, a man is going to be like stubborn. We stubborn in the mud more than a woman. So therefore, I'm gonna do me how a man go think, and then a woman is going to be like, well, I still got to take care of the kids, and I still got to do this. And then they look back and be like, all I did was take care of this dude all this dang on time. I made sure he ate. I made sure the kids ate. We don't do all that type of stuff. We don't come home, cook, clean. We come home, we like, where the food ready? Is my clothes ready? That type of stuff. I mean, that is. I will agree. I will agree with that, because you look at some women. You look back, you be like, dang, man, you talented. Like, why you ain't do it? Because I got caught up with family. Yeah. You ain't gonna hear that too much with a man. Like, yeah, I got caught up with family. They probably say I was in a bad relationship.
I agree with you on that. Yep, I agree with you on that. Yeah, I agree with you on that. I think that I agree with you on that. Women tend to be more unselfish. women lose their identity trying to make sure everybody else is taken care of for the most part. So, I think that, like just going with everything which y'all was saying, that that's why it's important that you got to discover where you got to discover your happiness first. You got to figure out where you at. If you ain't happy, I don't care. Could be with a million great women, but all you're gonna do is make them, they're gonna become bitter because you're gonna be hurting them because you ain't where you supposed to be. I mean, it's gonna be worse and worse.
Hey, Kathy and Quan making on here.
Yeah, Kathy, yeah, I see Kathy and Quan, they having some putting their stuff on there. God, that was crazy, man. Quan, and I'm gonna bring up some of these points because Kathy and Quan, y'all make us good points. I love the one that Kathy said about Reese Witherspoon and the Hallmark channel. I don't watch that channel, Kathy, but I know what you're talking about. But Quan said, Kathy, I left my first career for my dream with full support from my husband. It's possible. He held down the house and bills. Wasn't always easy, but it can be done. But you know what it was? I guarantee that both of y'all was friends. I guarantee both of y'all, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't we discovered happiness when we found each other. Y'all had happiness before y'all had each other. Y'all just, I think that's the difference.
And also, I like with that.
I think with these guys that's married,
he believed in supporting him. And you know what I'm saying? Like, and that'll push you too. Especially like, you know what, if you sacrifice your dream for me, we gonna do it. I gotta make it. I gotta go ahead and do this. You know what I mean? that'll help push. It's so crazy, but
let me ask the three married men right here before we go to the next question. All of y'all three married men, don't jump to answer it all at once, fuckers. Who is anybody? How long all of y'all been married? I think maybe Alonzo might have been short, with the shortest right now. How many years you got going on?
You got stickers you can put on.
I got 2 years.
Mac, you got 3 years in.
Oh, I'm the vet.
You got 2 years in. Oh,
you're a veteran.
So all of y'all been married. Been married. I mean, before you met the person that you with, before y'all met the person that you with, did y'all become friends? Were y'all friends? Was y'all friendship tighter than your lover aspect?
Nah, me and Crystal weren't friends like that. Like if we were friends, maybe for like a month or two, but we weren't friends. I'll be real. I'm like, all right, you'll be a good wife. So that's you'll be my girlfriend. So that's how that started. So
he didn't even ask. He just said you will be.
Like, hey,
this is happening.
I mean, we want to. Don't get me wrong. Like, it's cool just to kind of like to keep discovering each other every day. You know what I mean? Like, as far as each other, we're both patient with each other. So, that happens to work out for me. But don't get me wrong. Like, I don't think we'll be good friends. I'm not even gonna lie to you because there's a lot of things that I do to annoy her, and I don't think what I mean. We'd have been cool. I don't think she would have saw me in the way that she see me now if I didn't pull her romantically versus being her friend. So no, we weren't friends. She just liked some chocolate.
Any of y'all, whatever. So okay. So basically, not because this fucker just took it a whole different direction.
All right, that's the end of that topic. He won. He won the category.
Do y'all think? Yeah. Do y'all think that the way I love the way the Quan described it, that if you didn't like the person, first of all, you gotta like the person you with. If y'all, if you didn't like the woman that y'all married, would you be marrying him? Would you have felt obligated to marry him?
All right, so you said if I don't like the person that was will I be obligated to marry him?
Yeah. If you didn't like our wives, would you have married them?
See, I don't personally have a good answer because we had a kid and bought a house together before we even got married. So we did this all kinds of backwards. But you know, at some point it just seemed like the logical step. But I mean, we are, you know, probably going to stay together either way. But you know, at that point, it was more of like a technicality than anything else.
Oh, you guys are fucking me up
I
today.
hope you're not watching this.
Hey,
you messing me up today, ain't I?
Look, you can't invite a bunch of misfits on your show and expect some, you know, high quality lifestyles over here.
Right.
Well, no, we get the fuck off this topic.
I hope you're not watching, Justin.
Yeah, no, it's okay.
But I feel like
this is what I got for y'all.
Hell no, I
I'm done
wouldn't
with
marry
y'all,
her.
man.
If I ain't like her, hell no. No way.
Okay.
No way.
All right. Well, let's think about this. Let's go to some real topic. I discussed this before on my page myself when you know, of course we know with all this corona, everything, with everything going on. The one thing I hear the most people say is, I can't wait for things to get back to normal. And I kind of was like cautious about saying that, you know, so like back to normal. You know, I don't think normal is a necessary good thing in some aspects. Justin, I'm gonna let you go first because I know we was talking about it a little bit. But in accordance with what y'all thinking, when you hear the term, I can't wait for things to get back to normal. Do you think that's a good thing or a bad thing, or it's a lot of gray in between? Justin, you can go first, man.
I don't think we can go back to normal, right? I think the pandemic and the protests and everything else has shed so much light on so many systemic problems that going back to whatever we considered normal before is just not even an option, right? I mean, we have like enormous issues with our healthcare system, with our government, with policing, with these major institutions that control our whole way of life. You know, education, it's brought all of the problems to the forefront with, you know, disparities in education and healthcare and everything that I don't think it's possible or even, you know, to go back to normal. I don't even think it's an option, let alone is it a good option.
I agree with everything he said. And to kind of get to your question, I'm gonna go with that gray area because let's say if I'm a business owner and I have to shut my business down, you know what I mean? That's normal to me. So but you know, for everybody else, like, you know, like wearing masks everywhere, that's the new normal. Like if you see somebody in the mall or at Walmart with a mask on, like randomly, like, you know, you're gonna assume like, hey, they're sick or they're going through chemo or anything like that. But just to see have to wear a mask, it's the new normal. Have to wear gloves everywhere, it's the new normal. Like this is the new normal now. Like I said, especially with the other things like, you know, police brutality, racism, and just how everything's running now. Like this is the new normal. So, like I said, it all depends on your outlook at it and your position and what you're doing. Like I said, if I'm just a regular person, is normal going to the mall every weekend? Is it, you know, going to the gym or whatever? But like, you know, if this pandemic is affecting you as far as, like I said, you know, your livelihood as far as running a business or seeing your family, things like that, then yeah, it will affect it. But it all depends.
Yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying. If you're a business owner and what you might consider normal is you know, you spend all your time at your business, talking to customers, you know, doing what you do to keep your business running. And then you just basically just go from there to home and be with your family and stuff like that. You know, that might be what's normal, you know, for you. And that's, you know, then that's reasonable for you to want to get back to that. But as far as like a whole normal as a society, you know, there's going to be so many big changes that, you know, the people that can just go back to the way it was and be perfectly fine, you know, those are probably the people that were already, you know, that were privileged and didn't have that many problems to begin with.
I agree. Yep, definitely agree with that. Definitely agree.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I do agree with the whole new normal thing. Although it may be a little bit irritating because wearing a mask, I can't even breathe with that junk on.
Right.
But I mean, you do look at some people when you out and about. You like, dog, why you ain't got on your mask? Like,
Mm-hmm.
don't talk to me.
For real.
Yeah, but you never know why, right? Like, so I like I said, I work in construction and we wear masks all the time anyways. Usually just dust masks or whatever, but now we wear a cloth mask and all that. But when you come across somebody, because you got these crowds that go, oh, this ain't real, it's the flu, it's a hoax, and they don't wear a mask because they don't want to. They don't care about basically the welfare of others and this social aspect of trying to protect each other. Or it could just be a dude that had a long day and forgot his mask at home or has a hard time breathing in it, right? And so now you don't even know, like, if this person like not care or doesn't want to do their part and play their part in helping, or they just having a bad day. So now it's kind of hard to tell because I forget my mask sometimes, not at home, but like if I'm walking around a building, I might leave it somewhere and forget to put it on, and people start looking at me weird, and I realize I'm missing something.
I think it's just a whole different. I think what it is that y'all remember 9/11. Kathy, all businesses who create face recognition technology are looking for 9 to 5 jobs right about now.
Like, Kathy ain't lying about that.
Ain't lying. Everybody ain't gonna be, every time they look up something, they, every cop gonna be like, man, we looking for Sub-Zero or Scorpion because like, I can't believe it. So I agree with you on that, Kathy. But it's crazy now. It's just like you said, it's like with 9/11. You remember how we used to people, especially a lot of younger people know that we could go all the way up to the gate to see people off on their planes. We could go all the way, walk all the way there, give them a big old hug, kiss, look out the window, watch the plane take off if you were fortunate enough to do all that good stuff. 9/11 it was a big uncomfortable change for people. The long lines, which still really has tapered off until the pandemic. And now where you had to be at the airport, they're like, look, you need to be at the airport 3 hours early if you want to, go through everything and make sure it's fine. It's a whole different monster after 9/11. And like y'all all said, we had to adapt to it. And I think that's where we at with this, that we're going to have to adapt to a lot of the new change. Now, the parts that I was discussing about how the normal was people talking about getting back together and all this other stuff. And it was a lot of stats that I brought up that people didn't realize. Like, I love the fact that we didn't have no traffic. I love not being caught in congestion and traffic jams. I love the fact that I didn't have to encounter all these rude freaking people all the time now, who ironically wanted to be out of quarantine so they could get back to people because they missed them, but you got out of quarantine 10 times more rude than you were when you went into the motherfucker. So now you got all these hostile people that it came back out because they acting a fool. Now, I'm sorry. I got to call it the way it is. People that came out acting like they had been locked down for years. Like it was Demolition Man. Like they was locked in ice for like 70 years or something.
If people,
they acting like
some people are exaggerating so much about what some people are acting like the governor herself came and locked her front door with them in it, and acting like they couldn't go for a walk or go to the walk around the block or get some sun or go outside, and like they were just locked in a room for 3 months. And a lot of that is self-inflicted, where you could have been spending time with your family, doing yard work. You could have been going to You know, a lot of small businesses like hardware stores were open. You could have been working on your house. You could have been going for a walk. You could have been reading. You know what I mean? So a lot of that pent up anger is self-inflicted.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. This is crazy.
I'm gonna say the city was still open.
Yeah,
the city was still open. Suburban areas they probably was closed down, but the city, you could tell the city nothing. They was still partying. They had house parties. It wasn't like the police would ride right past them. They'd be outside, no mask, no nothing, just with each other, drinking the whole nine.
They started cracking down on it, but it took a while, and they only got a little bit here and there. But they did crack down on it some.
I at least want to say this about Michigan. I know we had a lot of people that was pissed off about Governor Whitmore did. I want to applaud her. I think that she did an outstanding job for someone, and I feel like she was did what most politicians don't do, and that's told the truth. She said, when they asked about something, she said, I don't know what this virus is about. And this is why I'm doing it. This is what should have been said from Washington. This should have been said from Congress. Every one of them should have been saying the same thing. We don't know. We are deferring our trust to the doctors and the scientists who are doing it. Point blank, period. And I think she did a great job. Like, you know, just like what Justin and Zoe said, they talking about like, oh, we on a lockdown. I'm like, y'all ain't locked up. They telling you to stay home because it's safer for you. And they telling you that you can go down the street, take walks, that you could do all these things. You can work in your yard. You could do all these things. But, you know, we trying to get y'all to social distance because we understand that that's the way it transmits. So to me, it's like people were just tripping for, first of all we saw is the entitlement of a lot of people that never heard the word no. Don't like the word no for the most part. And that's what it was. Stretched across every aspect, every race, everybody, because it was just all across. People just acting stupid. I had people about, I can't even go to the garden part of Walmart.
Yeah.
The only hole you know is on. Yeah. Don't play me. They don't know about doing no garden work.
Hey, they were mad because they couldn't shop at, you know, Garden Center and Walmart, but the local Ace Hardware down the street was open the whole time and we're selling seeds and gardening supplies and everything. But it might cost a couple dollars more.
Like, get out of here! I can't plant roses and daisies. Hey, some dummy told me I can't plant dandelions. I'm like, you don't want to plant a dandelion.
And that's the whole thing. Just like how you were saying earlier. Angry people and people that are not happy want to blame their lifestyle everybody else. Like, oh, well, I can't go to the mall, so I'm going to go ahead and blame the governor.
Yeah.
Like, oh, bro, like the mall's closed anyway.
Right.
And she said, you can go
and at the same time,
closed anyway.
You talking about you can't go to the mall and everything like that, but still in all, you can't even pay your dang on bill. Like, let me put this on a payment arrangement. But at the same time, you be the main one talking about this some BS for drinking a fifth of this and
I know y'all been saying it. If you haven't come out this pandemic, you know, better or learning something or developing something, then like you're just a waste. Like, it's real. I'm dead serious. Like, I learned so much more about money, finances, credit, and you know what I mean? Just a lot of stuff just in this pandemic. I know the importance of a dollar now. You know what I'm saying? But like, if you haven't learned anything, like I said, coming out this pandemic, then God bless you, because I don't know.
Well, and the other part of that is you learn real talk. And Justin, you can go after this, man. Yeah. I learned how many nasty motherfuckers it is in life. That's when I really learned that they had to be reminded to wash your ass, wash your hands, brush your teeth. Hey, please, for goodness sake, brush your teeth. Because when I'm
Hey,
like,
when you
what?
wear that mask and smell your breath for the first time.
You know? People tripping. I'm like, people trip about a lot of stuff. You know, you go use the bathroom, wash your hands. I'm like, y'all haven't been doing this already? That was a lot of my stuff. I was looking like, you don't do this already? Like, come on now. So like I said, the other parts of it that I was thinking about is that crime rates went down. You didn't hear nothing about a lot of shooting. And I know I said this before. March, this was the first March in 18 years. We didn't have no mass shooting. That's incredible. To me, that just made me say the first March that passed, the first time in 18 years, we did not have any school shootings. But you know, that's what we was like. You and John just about the normal. We were so used to hearing about school shootings that now in March, 18 years, we're like, wow, I didn't even pay attention to it because I'm just so used to it happening. And it's ironic that as they started opening stuff back up, we just recently had a school shooting not too long ago, but we ain't gonna get into all of that. But it's ironic that all these things, to me, it shows that a lot of the stuff, the normal, some of this new normal, not only we gonna have to get used to, I'm kind of looking forward to one aspect that I think a lot of stuff has showed that men are the problem with this world. That if they just stepped back and people wasn't doing so much, we would be in a very better position. Pollution went down. Totally went down. You know what I'm saying? So that carbon, imprint totally went down. And it just makes you say, like, wow. You hope that a lot of people was paying attention to that. Like, you guarantee the scientists was paying attention to that. Like, hey, maybe we need to figure out some things that we could do to continue this process on that's not uncomfortable to people. But of course, that's not going to go through because people like convenience over quality all the time. It's just a matter of fact. Like, look, I want it to be more convenient. If you told people right now, look, if we all just were given mass transportation and you had to give up your cars and you couldn't drive your cars for 6 months out of the year. Oh, no. That's a constitution. Man, that's against the Constitution. The 146th Amendment. What are you talking about, man? You're trying to take liberties. Like, what? But anyway, yeah, bro. It's just a trip to me because that's what I noticed. I noticed crime was down. I noticed it just seemed a lot of things, even though we was on edge, and we still are a little bit, things did feel a lot more peaceful, doing a lot of them aspects. I think a lot of people were being more cautious. Like even now, people just getting out the gates. Like, y'all was saying, they coming right out the gates, pent up aggression, pent up anger. I'm like, y'all didn't learn nothing. Y'all got more angry. So a lot of y'all got more angry. I'm like, what did you learn then? You came in angry, you came out more angry. Like you said, people that just don't even want to have the respect for the next person on the side of you. All you thinking about is yourself. Like you said, yeah, that mask is hard to breathe. Justin, you wear it, I wear it, everybody that's out there, I wear it the whole 9 yards. Or I get back to my truck or anything else to take it off, get my water in, it's uncomfortable, but think about the alternative. If it did break out and got better, because there's a lot of people that lost their lives. Mm-hmm. Period. There's a lot of people that lost their lives. So I don't want to be a part of that. Unfortunately, I have family members that passed away from it and family members that went through it and had to go through it. Friends, lost a coworker, shout out G, man, miss you. But it's just a whole bunch of things that, I think people with this new normal, just like with 9/11, as I was talking about, are going to have to get adjusted to. They're going to have to be like, it's going to have to be more we have to step out a comfort zone that we as Americans, and this everybody, I hate when people say it's white and it's just like, no, it ain't. When you get Americanized, it's a motherfucker. I don't care what you say. When people get Americanized and feel like they can do whatever they want to do when they feel like doing it, it's a horrible thing. I don't care what color you is. It's entitlement. Entitlement don't know no color. Entitlement means you feel that you can do it just because. Like, hey, I can do it just because I can do it. So I just hope that with people this next time around, I'm hoping that when they like, I think they talking about the winter is when this thing's supposed to wrap back up. That's where we can expect another big coming out party for it again. I'm hoping it's wrong, but I hope people just do the due diligence now, so that way we can, hopefully, hopefully, like I said, temper the curve and get below it. That's all.
Yep.
And I think we're also getting beat up by the kids over there. But I said, was you getting beat up by your kids? It looked like you was See,
we kind of passed it up, but one thing I wanted to mention about the state of Michigan in particular, and I think it's happened in several of the states, was that our unemployment process and the unemployment system exacerbated all of these issues during the shutdown, because we had something like I think it was like 300,000 or 400,000 people apply for unemployment. It might even been higher than that. And the system was just a total failure, just complete disaster. And they come on TV every week saying, we're working on it, it's getting better, you'll have your money next week. And there's still people, tens of thousands of people that haven't received a dime after months of just sitting around waiting. And for the most part, everybody's trying to be nice and understanding about it. They know the system's old, it's antiquated, but you can't be on TV saying it's working and we're working on it, and then come out 2 months later and be like, well, we had a total of 6,000 people, processing, hundreds of thousands of claims or a million claims, and we're doing the best we can. But that's not the best you can do. I mean, you could have hired half the people that lost their job, and to get the money for the other half. I mean, there was always something more they could have done, but they thought they were, saving money or whatever it was. But I think that made the problem a lot worse here in Michigan, because a lot of people were really angry about that and still are.
Yeah, that broke a lot of homes, a lot of pockets, because some people depend on that to get kicked. They get kicked out their house.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? She was just like, I was not going to pay my rent. I was like, I'm going to go ahead and pay it anyway. I'm not going to wait. And then I said, people in our complexes getting kicked out.
Yeah. And you were safe temporarily while the government had a state of emergency, but everybody was pushing her to lift it and to not reapply, not get a National Guard, not get federal funding. For some, I don't know why, but they were pushing basically anti whatever she was doing and lifting that state of emergency. But if you were behind on your rent, your landlord don't care about no state of emergency or what the governor says. They're going to find a way to get you out.
Exactly.
Yep.
And not everybody is privileged and lucky enough to have a profitable, successful mortgage company that can take that temporary loss and give you a couple months.
Well, not everybody fortunate to have a 9 to 5.
Yeah.
There we go. Right back to it.
Hey, that was a good one,
So much for that, right? So much for that. It's crazy,
like
man.
It was a great
I
thing.
agree with that. That's crazy.
I've been working during this time, and I was like, you know what? I'm glad I'm working. Y'all can keep the unemployment.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen people, even our mutual friends complaining about, oh, where's my money for being an essential worker? I want my recognition. I'm like, dude, I'll take just having my regular job any day over dealing with all that system and it's not waiting for a handout, because you earned it, you deserve it, you need it to live, but you're relying on other people. You're relying on other people for your income. And it's frustrating when you don't have any control over it. So, I'll take my regular paycheck over, whatever they have to go through any day. I feel lucky to be, been able to work through it all.
Exactly. Before this pandemic, I was on unemployment before. It took me about a month to get my payment. So I could just imagine what people who lost their jobs and have to depend on unemployment, waiting months and months for their money, still haven't gotten it, and they're being kicked out their houses or lights turned off, gas turned off, can't afford food or whatever. And I mean, that's an unfortunate situation. Like I said, it's a good and bad side to that. You know, some people, well, I got free money, I get a free $1,200-1,300 every, couple weeks.
That's fine. When they go apply in a month, when that money runs out and all the good jobs are gone, they're gonna regret holding on to it as long as they could.
Yeah, it's like I said, the whole thing is, hey, if you need it, absolutely need it. Yes, the state should have a better way and a faster way to give out people that need it, especially at this time.
Yeah.
I agree. Like I said, I agree with both of y'all said on that one, because like you said, people right now that still haven't received nothing. Yeah. That's legitimately in need of it. I mean, they legitimately got laid off. We're not talking those running scams. We talking about people that actually needed it, and like you said, it would get you so mad about it. Like I remember people talking about hazard pay. I'm like, look, I just don't want to get sick.
Yeah.
It ain't so much about the hazard pay for me. Hey. I just want to make sure that I'm not bringing nothing home to my family and everything else. Yeah, the hazard pay do me no good if I'm dead.
Yep, that $600 is nothing when you laid up in the hospital.
Yep. Has anybody been getting? Well,
and that's the thing. I
haven't gotten hazard pay. Has anybody been getting hazard pay?
No, I know some people here like a company like Comcast gave their workers an extra like $2 an hour or something, but I haven't.
We got hazard pay for like maybe I think a month, about a month,
they did that
like that. So
then they sent us home.
Yeah, that's
then it was like, yeah, y'all not getting this extra $2.
Hey, that's okay.
And that's what it was. And I was like, they can't afford that. I told people off the bat, I'm like, AT&T, I mean, a company can't afford that.
Hey.
Can't afford that, doing that for everybody, especially with everything that got paid. I know, Kathy, you said you got hazard pay. Yeah, I know a couple of people that got in there. People was getting geeked up talking about, oh, they're going to give us $25,000 in the government for the hazard pay. I'm like, look, y'all, let's calm down. All right, there's no such thing as free money.
Hey.
There's no such thing as free money.
Did y'all hear about what Kroger did? Where they paid their associates like another extra $3 or $4, and then they told them they had to pay it back or they was gonna get fired?
Who did that?
Kroger.
Just give me free food. Hey, let me go shopping. Give me free food. Take that off me.
And then they sent them a letter saying that basically you gotta pay us back or we gotta fire you.
Hey.
They should have just all walked out, and let's see if they would have been still here.
Hey, Randy, the reason I don't work with Randy anymore is the government gave the company a big old tax cut, and then they were like, yeah, we're going to create more jobs, and then they laid off most of the people.
Laid off
almost everybody.
Hey, and Justin, and still got more to come. And still got more to come with all that they did, man.
Hey,
it's crazy.
You about to be the only one left.
I know, right? It's crazy because you look at that kind of stuff, and it's like, it's got to be a better way to do business. If people in America wasn't so greedy, everything goes down to greed. They could have they could have went around the board and everybody shared in a little bit of the pain. You've had companies, and shout out to really good businessmen that really got good hearts. I've seen companies where instead of laying people off, they made people take like 2-week furloughs every so often, so that way everybody share a little bit of the pain, but everybody would still be able to get something to take care of their families.
That's like, what my company did.
Yeah, it's just so people are just selfish. Like you said, because you are Simeon, right? Simeon.
Yeah, Siemens. So what they did is they basically they forced everyone to move a lot of their PTO, all their paid time off, all their vacation days up. So they basically made you take all of your paid time off during the pandemic, and so they can control the quarterly cost. And and a big company has to do something like that because it's too hard to make that maneuver. Economic maneuver when you're that big, but They just, they sent a lot of people home. They made a lot of people work from home. They cut hours, but they didn't do any like mass layoffs or anything like that. They made it very clear from the beginning that, nobody's job was in jeopardy, and they've kept to it pretty good throughout the whole thing.
And that's how it should be, though. I feel like with most people, like, hey, we all share in the pain, so that way everybody don't have to, people can still go feed their families and stuff like that. Working 9 to 5s and, be able to do their thing. So I just think that if America wasn't so greedy, this could have been a lot better, the situation-wise, because the biggest thing, like y'all said, I know, Mac, you were saying about the money, what you learned on this part and how everything was working. What I wish people pay more attention to it is that anytime the system could go down and it'll affect everybody. Like, okay.
Well, let me ask you guys this.
Wall Street is crazy.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Let me ask you guys this. So do you guys think they're going to do something for essential workers, or you think that's already done and over with?
I think it's over with.
Done and over with. And not to be funny, there's nothing more to do.
Yeah. I think that ship has sailed, right? If they were going to do anything, they would have done it at the same time that they passed the CARES bill, right? They keep floating all these other bills, these programs, these incentives. The governor's going on TV saying, oh, we're going to try to get this through. The mayor of Detroit's going, we're going to try to help out, maybe get some school funding or something through. But I think that once the hype has died down, it's not going to have enough support in the light of all the other issues that we have to allocate that funding towards essential workers, especially as all of the other people start going back to work and they had all these unemployment problems and all this other stuff to catch up with. And then they're going to be mad. I don't think they're going to have enough support to pass any more funding for it.
Yep. I think the big thing that you hit on, Justin, is that we live in a what's trending now society.
Oh yeah,
and that's gone to politics. Right now, the politics is on these protests, and I guarantee, mark my words, in about a month and a half, maybe even not that long, we're gonna get right back into the election. We're gonna get right back into what things going on right now. It's gonna be the election. This is all the build up.
Yeah, if this was in 2016, we'd be in the middle of a full on election cycle, 24/7 presidential news. We wouldn't have time to talk about anything else.
Kathy, I see what I want to put this with Kathy on here too. I'm sorry, Justin. You can keep going.
Oh no,
I
go
just
ahead.
want to put this comment with Kathy on here too.
Karen,
she said all essential workers have turned back into regular workers.
Right.
Karen complains to the manager.
Hey, you ain't special no more.
Yep, it's like that was the. But it's Kathy is on one tonight. But it's the truth. It was the fancy title. Everything is a trend in our society now. It come today, gone tomorrow. Because even with all the protests that's going on now, you're going to see a die-off. It just happens all the time. You're going to see a die-off in the next week and a half and everything else like that. It was very comical, the knee that they took at the Capitol. I found it very aroused. It kind of got me a little aroused, and then I went right back limp. But it's going to go – what is going to happen is that it's going to go right to wherever the next going to be. And, I mean, coming into this – and I just want y'all to touch on base on this because we're getting right to that hour and a half mark without I want to stop at. With this coming election, real quick for you all, do you think that these protests are going to be a major issue in regards to the people, in regards to the how people vote come this August and November? Or do you think it's boom bam, people gonna vote for what they normally do?
Shoot, they probably do it on over the phone.
Yeah, but because I mean we're probably going to be doing it by mail, but
yeah, that's what we're
absentee,
doing.
I mean, but do I think it's going to change a lot of what people were already going to vote for? I'm not convinced. I think people are so entrenched in their beliefs and their positions, and they do so because they're surrounded by other people that share that same belief. And to change your mind, to change your position on something so important, will put you at odds with your social group. All right. So if people, it takes a lot of movement to, kind of buck up against your family, your friends, your social group, the people that you interact with, the people that you've identified with your whole life, right? And so people are so entrenched that, even with all of the very obvious and blatant, racism and brutality, there's still people, and it would be the same people last year, the same people this year, saying, oh, they deserved it. It doesn't exist. It's not a problem. You know what I mean? And those people are going to vote the same way. Now, it's hard to say because there could be enough, especially on the independent voters, to swing the vote. The people that weren't already kind of tied to a party can kind of swing the vote, but I don't think people are. I don't think it's easy as we think it is to change minds, to change how they see issues. It's more of a generational thing rather than a moment to moment or a year, even a year to year thing. I think it takes like whole generations to make huge social changes.
Yeah, I agree with you, Justin. I was just gonna say, like I think you touched on, like the people who normally, like I said, don't vote or whoever swayed, they might be swayed because of what happens like during the protest and all. Like I said, the majority that's still stuck on, hey, this is my beliefs and this is what I support. I'm going to continue to do it regardless if they notice to see it or even acknowledge it. It's not going to change, who they vote for, how they view things politically.
Right. Yeah. And I think that the majority of people that are protests, that are being active and, activists about this, that are very supportive, we're already going to vote one way anyway. You know what I mean? You got some people that are coming out saying, I used to believe this, or I didn't see it, and now I do, and I understand. But, I think that I think that's kind of rare. And the harder you press people, the harder you try to change their mind, the more they're going to get entrenched, the more they're going to be defensive. The harder it actually is going to be able to change their mind, because they don't have a way to relate to you when you're just trying to tell them, hey, you're wrong, rather than, trying to affect them emotionally.
Yep. And I was just going to say, everything, I agree with everything that you just said. I think that people don't understand that because we live in such the trendy society that we live in, and low key has been that way for a long time. I mean, it really didn't start with social media. It just, it got intensified. I believe a lot of things that when we see, it only gets intensified. It brings them more to the surface. So I think it's a very small, and I want to say small, but if I have to say out of 100, I want to say maybe a tipping scale of maybe 10% of people who actually got that effect. See, we live in a place, and this with everyone, no matter what color, race, religion, financial backing, no matter what you are, if it doesn't affect you directly for the most part, it's not a factor.
Yep.
So with most people, until they can experience it, it doesn't move the scales. Just like Justin said, if it does, it won't move the scale. Like, hey, I've never had to. I mean, until you see a friend or someone go through a murder, like, let me not use murder. You have some people that have never experienced death in their family. You may go to funerals for people to be supportive, but until it hits home with your family, someone close to you, you'll never know how someone else feels to lose someone that close. And it's the same way in society. You'll never know how it feels until you have to experience it. Now, I think that one of the big movements, and I don't want to say movements, I think that it's been like this for a while, but now it's just getting more freer, is that you got a lot of interracial dating, a lot of interracial marriages. I think that's a big factor in a lot of stuff that's going on. And then the other part of it is you just got people that's flat out tired. They're like, look, I'm tired of that. That's wrong. Let's do something about it. Period.
Yeah,
And
I know. Yeah, I
from
know.
that point on, I just don't think it's to me. I just don't think it's going when the like you said, what you said, the people I think that were out there were already going to vote a certain way. The people that weren't out there are already going to vote a certain way. The people that I think that both parties, which I believe we need to get rid of the two-party system. I'm joining everybody else with, but the people that are going to tip the scales, and that people don't understand this so much, is just these independent. This is going to be the year of independence. The independent voters who never had, like, either didn't vote because they're like, man, I don't like nobody. I think you're going to have people just flat out voting. And they saying, look, we're going to make a choice because, I mean, you got either Biden, and I ain't talking about the presidency. I'm talking about congressional. This is what they need to be voting on. The local elections, Michigan, if you in wherever state that you in, this is what you need to be voting on. You should have been voting on this in the first place. So I think that's where it's going to come into pause. I think I agree with Justin and what you said, Mac. I just think that it's not really going to tip the scale. But, hey, we might be surprised. We might see a tip. We never know.
Like I was going to say earlier, I know a young lady, she said she never experienced racism or anything, but she was married to a black guy. And, you know, she has a mixed child. Until she saw it through her child, she never experienced it. You know what I'm saying? So, like, that was her own experience of racism through her children. So it's like, wow, like, I never think that, you know, the color of somebody's skin or, you know, how you will actually be treated because you don't share the same pigment with anybody.
I think what it is that when we finally get out of, like I've been telling people for a long time, people always got agendas. You got to be careful of people. People got agendas. This not about bad cops or good cops. This not about bad people or good people. This should always have been about right and wrong. You got good cops that on a bad day do something they ain't had no business doing. You got bad cops on a good day do the right thing, and vice versa with people. Everything should be based on actions. And when people can just say, this is right, I don't care what the color, I don't care what it is, no matter what it is, that's what we need to be on. I hate when people try to split up stuff race-wise. It makes no sense. It never has made sense. Hey, Tommy, did you steal the candy bar? Get a belt and beat Tommy's ass. Tommy deserves it. Tommy stole it. We call him red-handed doing it. Now, man, it's Tommy, Jack, John, Paul, and what color they are. If you did it, you deserve the punishment. If you didn't do it, let them go. Be done. There we go. And that's the problem. We keep getting into everything else. You got all these different groups that come in with their own agendas. Oh, we got to do this. We got to do that. Like, no. What's right and what's wrong? Period. If he was wrong for doing it, let the system judge him fairly. You're supposed to be by citizens that surround you, judge it fairly based upon his actions. That's how court's supposed to be anyway. You're supposed to judge people based on their actions, based on the proof. And if it's beyond a shadow of a doubt, then you got to take it from there. And the problem is that we got all these rules and nobody following them. That's all I was saying on that. Nobody follows them. You just get it out the way. I've seen it both. Being in Detroit, I've seen being harassed that look like me. I've seen guys white being harassed. And guess what? That means it's bad cops. That bad cop needs to be punished. I've seen guys that do crimes that look like me. I've seen guys that do crimes that's white, Hispanic, anything else. If you get caught doing the crime, you did it, you deserve to be punished. It's just, and it should be fair punishment. Set standard. If it's 1 year for stealing a candy bar, it's 1 year for everybody stealing the candy bar. Unless this nigga stole 150 candy bars and he's been in jail 8 times, maybe he needs to be there a little bit longer because he keeps stealing. But that's about it, man. I mean, I just feel that I just want people to just say, man, right, wrong. If we could get out everything else, because that's the root of it. In the surface, underneath the surface, right, wrong.
Well, you got.
So I know I'm gonna let you get this.
This right here, you got right and wrong, yeah. But you also have, you have rules, and if the rules aren't conducive to right and wrong, if it's a lot of gray in the rules, then it will never be right and wrong. It will always it'll be what it is. I'm about to kick this boy's butt.
But you already mentioned it though, Randy, right? It's the selective enforcement of right and wrong of the rules, right? It's people who, like you said, they take their own personal agenda and apply that to their position of power to selectively enforce, the agreed upon rules to whoever they want to apply them to. Right. And there's no standard of punishment. There's no standard of this. Like why should a cop even be allowed to give a warning when they want to and a ticket when they want to? Why is that an option? Right. It should either be you did it or you didn't. And here's the standard punitive punishment, charge, fine, whatever. But you hear all the time of, oh, my brother's best friend is a cop, so I only got a warning, right? Or whatever it is. But like, why is that even an option? Like, either everybody gets like 3 warnings, or nobody gets one, or or something. But when you put the power to in somebody's hands to basically create their own version of a subset of the rules that they choose to enforce and who to enforce them on. It's that you lead to like incredibly unequal policing and standards, and then it's the same deal when you get to the courts. The judge, every judge is appointed or elected by somebody, and because of their political stance, and they got their own agenda, and they choose who committed a crime or who did this and that. Not everybody gets a jury of their peers. And then even sometimes when you get a jury of your peers, they frame the rules and the laws in a way to where, they might have did something wrong, but they didn't actually 100% confidently break this particular version of the law or something like that. You know what I mean? So it's like you said, I think it should be simplified and enforced evenly, but it doesn't seem to be a thing that people are pushing for.
Yep. Like you said, when I saw people talking about let's defund the police department, I'm like, okay. And then there's like, well, we want to have we want to let the community police. I'm like, oh hell no.
Like I know my community.
Now you gotta understand, even in the Bible, you gotta have structure. But if you get rid of the police department,
I was like, no, that's not a good idea. Like you were saying, bro. We got it. You and Justin just said the same thing, and it's just it's got to be an overhaul from top to bottom. It's got to be a review. Get rid of the special interests. Get rid of all this stuff. Stop making it be so, like you said, the gray areas. You got to make it even. That way, if it's fair, that's why I always tell people, I'm like, I ain't a good guy. I ain't a bad guy. I'm a fair guy. I go by what I see and the actions that was going on, and that's how I make my judgment. If I don't know about it, I can't say so much about it. Like, look, I saw this aspect of it. I don't know about the rest of it. Could he not? Could he not? Could he have done it? Yep. Could he have not done it? Guess what? That means it's reasonable doubt. So I can't make a judgment on that. So for this point, because of lack of evidence, I can't say nothing about it. I have to say no then. Because there ain't no evidence. It's the lack of it. We could be here all day talking about shoulda, coulda, woulda. But it's just like, right now we at this point where it's just so, like you said, it's like I don't trust the community. The community just be just as worse. Can you imagine a community police, people in the community policing doing you talk about favoritism? Woo, bro. I mean, people, we just got to face the fact. Like I said, that's why I was saying it's not about good. It's about right or wrong. And until we can get that aspect down, we always gonna have a problem. And like you said, Justin, it don't look like nobody want to get to that aspect of it. Everybody wants sound clips and nice little sayings, but nobody want effective change. Until the effective change come in, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I ain't gonna keep begging for it either.
I'm saying, I got one more thing to say, but this right here, like you gotta understand, if the amendments was right, then it would be all equality across the board, and then you wouldn't even have to put LGBTQ.
Yeah.
There you go.
All that. You wouldn't have to segregate that right there and make rules for different situations. If it was fair across the board, then it would be fair across the board. Why are gays and lesbians are fighting for equality? Why is that? Because it's not fair across the board. It shouldn't be a white and a black thing. It should never be a white and a black thing. It should be human. You got like animals have more rights than humans in some cases. And that's the messed up part about this whole system. So you gotta think about everything that goes in that system and make that change. Like they really need to go over there and look over the system and then make that change from there. And in my lifetime, I really don't see it happening. And I'm so.
I kind of agree. I agree with you on that aspect too. I agree with you on that aspect. And I think that it's gonna take time because I think Justin kind of hit to it as well. I mean, it's like if you get yourself in debt from bad decision making, right? It ain't no magic wand to get yourself out of debt in 2 days. It took you time to get in it. It's gonna take you time to get out of it. Just like what you said, so it's gonna take the time to do it. And I see. So I mean, we like I said, we'll see what happens. We hope for the best, and we just take it like that. But and I'll just leave it like that. We hope for the best, man. And with my 2 guys, I'm glad that one cocksucker got off just now. I hope his phone. Hope he don't come back. That's my host, Mac. Got kicked off. Thank goodness. But I just wanted to tell. I'm glad he came off. But I want to say thank you to my bro Justin for coming on this bad boy, man. You got to get on this bad boy again. Hopefully we'll get that invitation out to you again, man. And of course, always my bro Lonzo, man. Appreciate you being on here, man. Enjoyed this conversation with you. And Mac, I know that you had some technical difficulties. It happens like that sometime. Miss you, bro, and everything else. Thank y'all so much for being on Unfiltered this time frame. Appreciate y'all, man. And to everybody out there, I'm just glad y'all been able to here you go. I'm gonna click him in so he can say his buys right quick. You click fucker. And to everybody else out there that's paid attention, that shared and did everything else. We appreciate all your support. To every one of our followers, of course, continue to share and post. And like I said, we will be back in person, live in the studio, July 2020. We will let y'all know exactly when, but we will be back together. Bear with us. Everybody else, be safe. I don't know if you guys got any last things y'all want to say before I go ahead and get y'all out of here. Appreciate y'all time.
Stay safe. Wear a mask. Sanitize your hands. Also, continue like, share, subscribe. All right. Y'all go. Y'all good.
Like a fucking bald-headed Sub-Zero.
Hey, I thought at first I thought he said sanitize your head. I'm not.
Yeah.
Like, why are you doing that for?
You should let the screen go to black and then like have Mortal Kombat come up or something. That would have been awesome. I'm like, man, that was fucking cool. That's fucking cool. But shoot, you got anything to say, Justin, before we let you go, bro, man?
No.
Thanks for coming on the show, Justin.
Oh, you're welcome.
Appreciate you, bro.
Yeah, no, it was good. It was a good time. Yeah, just hit me up. So I'm usually free Wednesday nights, so it's actually perfect timing.
Oh, Well, cool beans, man. We gonna take you up on that offer, man.
And I would like
Appreciate
to,
you,
I do want to propose a future topic for, Alonzo here being, a lot of veterans are lean conservative, and they lean, my liberties, my rights type way, right? And the funny thing is when you're in the military, especially in the Navy, you learn, and it's drilled into you from day one, especially in the Navy, shipmate self, right? Your whole community, is what you put first, and then your peers, and then yourself last. But for some reason, it seems like when people get out, and that's every branch, right? And it seems like when people get out, that goes out the window, and they become selfish, and they want their rights, their freedoms, their individual stuff for them, maybe for their family. But it's kind of weird how that whole sense of social responsibility goes out the window, and that's something that I think about sometimes, that I see. So I'd like to talk about that sometime in the future, if that sounds good.
Man, that sounds awesome, because I really, till you just saw it, what you say, Zoe, that sounds like a really good topic.
Yeah. It's great. Yeah, it do. Like from boot camp, the whole purpose of boot camp is destroying your whole outlook on what life is, and make you more about Navy and teamwork and everything like that. So it breaks down your whole exterior, and that's why they call it boot camp. But then moving forward, then it's all on building their Navy values and everything like that. So, and that's with each branch. So
Yep.
I say the Marines is more, they have a more brotherhood than any other branch in the military. Because Marines, they see another Marine, it goes down.
They best friends already.
Already. It's like, you a Marine? Yeah. Oh man, come over here. I'll buy you. Wait, you about to buy that whole
I
branch?
know. I be seeing them in the public. They ain't never met each other a day in their life. They're like, simplify. I'm like, they're like, oh, I'm like, man, I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
There you go. So, but yeah, that's a good topic,
All
man.
right.
Matt, we say pretty good.
That was a preview right there.
So
we'll talk about it more.
Yep, there you go. That's that preview, man. Like I said, we go get Justin back on here. We can get Zoe back on here, and everybody else from everybody here at Unfiltered. To my co-host Matt,
Jersey,
Jordan, Miss Cola, myself, Mr. Johnson. I want to thank y'all all so much for tuning in. Remember, continue to like, share, pass along. Until next time.
Is that it?
No, Randy